Hey guys, welcome to this week's video. I'm going to be running through arguably one of the most iconic, one of the most favourite kicks for kids and big 42-year-old kids like me for working on, which is the jump sidekick. Now today, I'm going to show you the jump sidekick from the point of view of, for argument's sake, training it yourself, but also from the point of view of trying to teach it, especially to younger kids, maybe adults that are dead keen at giving this sort of thing a go, but are maybe a little bit worried about injuring themselves or unsure of the step-in. So I'm going to break it down now. Before any traditionalists, before anybody comes on, starts giving it up on the YouTube, blah, 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 about, oh, it's not you can't play it, you can't this yet. Shush. Nobody cares. It's good fun. It's encouraging people to play with kicks. It's keeping people moving. And above all, as I've already said, it's just good fun. We don't always have to train everything in our striking arts and our martial arts from the point of view of smacking Barry down the pub in the teeth. We can have some fun with it too. And to be fair, this sort of stuff, it really works on that dexterity, that mobility, and it really gets you moving around, not being afraid of kicking, not being afraid of trying stuff. So anyway, preaching aside, let's get to work on our jump sidekicks. So first things first, before you even consider trying a jump sidekick, it goes without saying that really you should have an understanding for your normal sidekick off your lead leg, off your favourite side. Now for argument's sake, although it's sort of like its distant cousin, you also want to have a good understanding of both your spin back kick and a jump spin back kick. Just because both of them use a sidekick movement in different rotations, in different forms of stepping, which is what you're doing with a jump sidekick. You're taking a sidekick and you're using it in a different way, which is what your back kick does, which is what your jump spin back kick does, whatever you call it, spinning dragon thrust kick. Doesn't matter what you call it. Your basic spin back kick and your basic jump spin back kick, they both use a similar extension and a bladed foot position like a sidekick. So just have a good understanding of those first. I've got videos on both of those, go watch them. If I knew how to do all that YouTube stuff, I'd point to videos and stuff, but I don't, so just go search in my channel. Okay, right. So, the mechanics of your jump sidekick. There are so many different ways of setting this up, of running, of doing all that jazz. One thing I want you to consider though when you're practicing this, I'm going to do this on this Wavemaster, which is not full, it's about 3/4 full. The reason being is I split the post in a different video, filling it up and kicking it over, which you shouldn't do, hence the big, I don't know if you can see on the video, there's a big square. That's just so that I know that this is the one that leaks. It's about 3/4 full, but I'm using this one because I'm guessing most people will practice with heavy bags or with something that's not going to be moving around a terrible amount. All right, so we need to consider that when we're doing the setup. All right, so the number one thing a lot of people do wrong when they're practicing this one is they run straight at the pad and then they kick straight forwards. And you might go, well, what's wrong with that? Well, because this is in the way. Okay? So the first thing we want to try and do is get into the habit of thinking forward movement with an arc. Okay? So as I'm doing this one, yes, I'm kicking this way, but as I'm re-chambering, I'm actually thinking about moving off this way. Okay, so I've already got that in mind as I'm setting up off the floor. Okay, and that's worth keeping in mind. So first thing you want to do is get your distancing right. So I want it for me to be set so that I'm going kicking foot, non-kicking foot, kick happens, then I'm going off this way. Alright, so one more time up. I'm going to go kicking foot, non-kicking foot, take off kick. Okay? Now we've got that first bit done with, let's just look at how we're coming off the ground. So I'm going 1, 2, up. Okay, so again, here. I'm going 1, 2, up. Now, if you've watched the leg, I can't remember what I call it, there's a video I've done where I'm doing leg movements and setups, and I'm doing one that's like this, and I call them Mario jumps. this is one of those situations there. On that video I'll talk about how we use it in the up front kicks and other stuff too, but look, that's what I'm using. 1, 2, up. Okay? Now, the reason for this is going to get me up. It's going to get me up in the air. Yeah, that's getting me up. Alright? And I want to get that upwards movement. I want to get up. The higher up I'm getting, the easier it's going to be to tuck and kick. And you notice I've not got a ridiculous amount of forward movement going. I've got the forward movement that I can get from here. Yeah, so up, kick. Yeah, it's just that little bit of time there. Yeah. 1, 2, up. It's just that little bit that I can get. Alright, so let's start looking at the kick now. So once you're up, once I'm here, yeah, sometimes with this setup as well, you'll see people go like that. That's just to get a little bit of extra momentum. It's an old tricking thing, but it does work, like a skip lead into it. So you just accelerate faster. You do that if you want. But anyway, what I was saying was, get sidetracked so easy doing these. 1, 2, when I'm here, as I'm going up, as I'm coming up, and obviously I can't do this in slow motion to show you. As I'm coming up, I'm gently rotating through my hips, and I'm working on tucking this back leg up and back, nice and tight. And it's all this back leg's coming back here, this front leg's gonna push out, bam, so they're going at the same time. Yeah, these are together at the same time. It's not, sometimes you see people do this one, and they go up and they go, what? Oh, I'm doing it right now, I'm trying to do it wrong. I'm trying to do it wrong. And they go, 1, 2. All right, so they've got a 1, 2 movement. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. So look, I'm going here, bam, non-kicking leg. Kicking legs going up first, which goes against everything your head's telling you, don't do that. You need it to, because this is going to give you height. And you come off the ground in this position here, okay? And then you're going to pull those hips back, rotate it over, and then wham, it's going to go out and do the kick. All right? Anyway, enough chatting about it. Let me show you a few so you see. Yeah? Again, I'm not kicking this overly hard, so I don't want to make this any more broken than it is. So don't get off your YouTube comments, you people. Yeah? Okay, see what I'm doing? So, kicking leg, it's driving me up, and then rotating, pulling this back leg back, pull it back, almost like the backwards movement on your spin back kick. Pull it back, so this is back leg, wham, front leg goes out. Wham, same time, yeah? So again, going through, 1, up, wham, yes, pulling back. Neighbours are going to think I've lost the plot. I'm not probably out to be fair. Here, up, okay. And one thing that really helps me doing this one, visualising, looking. I'm looking where I want my foot to go. So I don't know, this might sound ridiculously obvious, but the amount of people that don't do this, they're running and they're looking at the bottom, and then they're wondering why they're kicking the bottom and not the top. Keeping in mind, I fully appreciate that different people, I don't know if I'm still in shot, oh I am. I fully appreciate, and I want this to be something that everybody can have a go at. So before I say what I'm going to say, I want to get that there. I want everybody, obviously within reason, to have a go at doing this and have fun with it. And if you're kicking low, that's fine. But keep in mind that ultimately, this is a big bugbear of mine, especially when you see people that have got no issue other than they're a bit afraid of it. The ultimate aim of this is to do a high kick. That's why you're doing the jump. The jump, it's there to give you momentum and give you lift and get you up off the ground. So I can't stand it. Being honest here, you see people do massive run-ups, they do a jump side kick, and it actually goes about their own belly height, chest height. All right. So you need to spot at the top of the pad, so that you'll dip back the right amount, so that you hit the top. Don't do what I once did, and there is a video out there to show this. I thought, well, if I spot a bit higher, maybe I'll just kick that. And yeah, I did. Straight over the top of the pad. My leg got stuck, fell down, I really messed myself up. Literally 2 weeks before a charity event. That wasn't great. So don't do that. That was stupid. Yeah. So again, look. couple more for you to see, so you can get the idea of what I'm doing. So I'm spotting the top here where there's a little crease. I've got this one set at about, I don't know, 5'7"-ish, I'd say. 5'7", 5'8". So not super tall. And I'm looking at the top of it. That's where I'm aiming my kick. I'm looking at the top. So there, at the top. Okay? And again, I'm not trying to hit it overly hard. I'm intentionally don't break the spine. Right, so I'm here, up. Okay. And you can practice. Just drill it. All right? The more you do it, the more confident you're going to get, the easier it's going to get. Personally, I always recommend practicing this kick on a target as opposed to thin air, because it gives you a better appreciation for actually how high you're going. When you kick into thin air, it feels like you're jumping as high as Bruce Lee and kicking over a giant, when in reality, you're kicking down here. All right? When you're on this, you've got that physical input, feedback from the hitting the pad. And you know, you can see where you're hitting. When you've landed, you can see where your foot's hit the pad. Another thing you can do when you've got pads like this, as long as you check the instructor first, is you can get electrical tape. You can mark points on it to aim for. Unless you've got one that's already like this one's got writing on it, you can maybe use a bit of one of the letters as a reference point. But I like to put bits of tape on. But yeah, just have lots of fun, drill it. If you've got any comments, questions, or you're not sure, please do comment below. Also, don't forget, go check out my website, which is kickingcoach.co.uk. If you like these in-depth breakdowns, if you're struggling with a kick, even if it's one I've already covered, and you want me to do a personalised breakdown for you, it costs just £5. You know, literally the cost of a couple of posh coffees. I won't name brands. And I can help fix one of your kicks potentially, you know. There are some testimonials on there, go check them out under the Kick Clinic, the video Kick Clinic section. So that's www.kickingcoach.co.uk. Go check that out. As always, please like, share, subscribe, all that YouTube stuff. I'll see you on the next one, guys. Have lots of fun. Try not to break yourselves. Really important.